I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Everything is going well. Everything is going well. All right, before we get to the NFL, let's talk about last night. I thought the Sixers were going to be hard pressed. Obviously, no Okafor. I thought they were going to be hard pressed to stop John Wall, but he erupts for 37. How about the Wizards this year, trying to make a little noise and get into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference? What has surprised you the most about them?
I mean, it's just a team that I've said this all year. They haven't had another dog to go along with John Wall. You know, when you look at the other great teams in the NBA, Steph Curry's got, Draymond Green and Thompson and even Iguodala. Westbrook's got Durant, or vice versa. But you look at Wall, and he's had to single-handedly carry this team all year. And I think, what's happened with that is people around the league and, fans around the league are starting to appreciate how good John Wall really is, because he is clearly one of the top players in the league, especially at his position. But they're a team that's starting to get it together. They're starting to get some guys back who've been injured. Bradley Bill's been an enigma all year as far as, you don't know what you're going to get with him on a night-in and night-out basis. And if he can ever put it all together, he could be a special player, but it's starting to seem like that clock's ticking on, when is that going to happen? He's been in the league for 4 years now. So they're a team, though, that if they do make the playoffs, and Rich, we've seen this the last 2 years, they've hovered around 40 to 42 wins, during the regular season, and they get in the playoffs, and all of a sudden they hit this switch. I'm not saying that they're capable of doing it again, but since the All-Star break, they're 6-2, and you're starting to see what a lot of people thought they could be.
You had an up-close look at the Sixers last night, and again, they led. They played much better than they have to start the second half of the season. I understand it's a young team, and I got a lot of flack because I was critical of the head coach, Brett Brown, and the reason I'm critical is because you just can't be a body there. And you have to make adjustments. And sometimes you see some players playing out of position. I also think defense, that's something that has to be instilled with this team. And the fact that they turn the ball over at an alarming rate. And again, you didn't get an opportunity with Okafor last night, but you saw a kid like Smith. You saw Noel. When you look at the Sixers and the way everything's kind of fallen into place in the Eastern Conference, the fact that they'll win maybe 15 games to close out the year. How about their future going forward, and how do other those around the NBA that you speak to, NBA circles and GMs and whatnot and scouts, how do they look at this Sixers team right now, presently constituted?
Dysfunctional. I mean, that's the key word. It's no continuity there. It's like you look at a guy like Noel and you see that he's clearly gotten better. But do you think that he's honestly a long-term solution in Philadelphia? No. I don't even know if he'll be there in 2-3 years, and that's the problem. They've moved so many players out of there who had potential. We still haven't seen Embiid yet. So it's like, where do these pieces fit in here? Where is Okafor a 4? Is he a 5? Could he move to 3? Is Noel a 4? Is he a 5? It seems like they've got the same bodies everywhere. Cannon, he's a good young player. But then you look at Ish Smith. They went out and made a trade to bring him in. So where do all these pieces fit in place? And yes, they do have some young talent, but they don't nearly have enough to compete in the NBA, I mean, at this level. And you can see, hence 8 wins. I mean, there's a reason why this basketball team is, 40 losses. They're just not constructed very well right now.
Yeah, 8-52 overall and officially eliminated from playoff contention. If you reverse that, you look at the Golden State Warriors, who are just on another level. Look, you've been calling and covering the NBA for years, and you played a ball at a high level. When you look at what Steph Curry, I made the joke yesterday on the air that you're going to have to start defending this kid once he crosses half court. I mean, when you look at what he's doing, I know the game has changed. I know defenses, they don't really you're not drawing guys off the perimeter. I understand that. The game's a little more wide open. But have you ever seen a player shoot the ball with such efficiency from all areas of the floor like Steph Curry?
No, not at all. I mean, when I played, there were a lot of guys that I played against in college that were great shooters. And, there were guys that, that came up. I remember when J.J. Redick was kind of like the blueprint when he was at Duke as far as just a great shooter. He's nowhere near Steph Curry. And that's not to demean, J.J. Redick. He'll come to your local rec and put up 50 on you. But Steph Curry is doing something that is just unreal. And I think people are starting to really appreciate what he's doing for the game. I made the comment the other day, and it ruffled a little feathers. And, as much as I love Kobe's game, and I think LeBron James perhaps may be pound for pound the greatest talent we've ever seen, not the best player, but talent-wise, I think Steph Curry might be the true heir apparent to Michael Jordan. And I say that because Michael Jordan, came in after Magic and Bird, and those guys transcended the game. Magic transcended the way you saw big men play the game. Michael Jordan transcended the way you saw the game played in the air. Steph Curry's transcending the way the game's played as far as being a pure shooter. He's not the most athletic guy out there, not the fastest, but he gets whatever shot he wants off at any time, anywhere on the court, and that's really impressive. And I think right now we're starting to see some true greatness, and he's also a clutch player that wants to shoot those shots. I mean, when he pulled that shot up, inside half court,
you don't question
Oklahoma, you don't question anybody else. You're like yelling, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
But just the fact that he took the shot tells you that he wants to be the guy to take his team over the top, and that's Michael Jordan. That's kind of Kobe Bryant back in his prime. He's got a true assassin in him, and I think that's what separates him from LeBron. Actually,
as pure scorer, yes. Look, Jordan had to really develop his jump shot late in his career, and
Sure.
I'll tell you, when you look at LeBron's not the best player in the game right now. It's Curry, but what's hurt LeBron, if you really look, LeBron can't shoot the three ball anymore. I mean, he's shooting 20-25% from beyond the arc. That was almost one of his staples. That was something that, again, you had to consider if you draw the guys out, if you want to play perimeter defense, that's when right away, boom, he'll blow right by you and he'll take it to the tin. As far as Curry, you're right. A pure shooter, yes. I still look at guys like Bird, West, Miller. I want to see how it plays out a little more with this kid, but you can't dispute the stuff he's doing is it's ungodly. It really is. I mean,
it is.
Is it a foregone conclusion that they're going to repeat?
Of course. I mean, listen, whenever you have those kind of scores that can just get hot, you don't want two of them getting hot at the same time because then you definitely are going to lose. You need to have the type of game that Oklahoma City had on them the other day where, Draymond Green was struggling for a while, and Curry he wasn't even in the game.
That was the
for
game
a
to
while.
pick him. That was the game to get him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need them to all have an off night, and I think mentally OKC thought they had them, and that's a disheartening loss because you realize no one's going to beat this team 4 times. They're not.
Yeah, and you also realize that Russell Westbrook played out of his mind that game. Durant played well, and you still couldn't put a team away when their best player wasn't even on the floor for a quarter. So you put all those things in mind. I will say this though, and two things we're talking about here. Not to switch, but to go back to LeBron just real quick. I think one of the things that people don't realize that may have hurt LeBron and his legacy and maybe stunted his growth even as a player is I think he hasn't developed into what he could have been because his teams were always stacked. When you saw him at his best, in my opinion, is when he was in the original Cleveland, when they were winning 60 games a year, and they were fizzling the playoffs, but you saw how great he was becoming. But when you start pairing up with other great players, you have to sacrifice parts of your game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened with him. And then getting back to Curry, as far as, what's making him a little different here, it's true in a sense what Oscar Robertson said as far as defenses now. There is no defense in the NBA. It's abysmal team basketball as far as the defensive end. And the only way you would ever be able to stop a Steph Curry is to beat him up. And that's a fact. But they won't do that nowadays because they're not allowed to do it, and those guys won't do that anyway. There's different mentality on the defensive end. If Steph Curry played in the 80s and early 90s against the Bulls and Bad Boys and Celtics,
Knicks teams,
I still think he'd get 20, 25,
sure.
but he wouldn't drop 50 on guys at will, and they keep letting them shoot.
No, you're
no
right.
way.
They would punish him going to the basket. Hey, I know we got a couple more minutes. Again, Tuesday, a couple minutes with Lake Lewis from Sports Journey and, of course, About.com. Covers the NFL, NBA, college sports as well down in the D.C. area. The Redskins have tagged Kirk Cousins. And right now it looks like, there's multiple reports, non-exclusive franchise tag. So they're going to commit right around $20 million And I guess the argument is, are they committing $20 million to a guy that had his